Hey all you cool cats and kittens. I'm just kidding. For those of you who don't know that reference, it is a Tiger King reference. I've been obsessed with that show lately. Let me know in the comments if you've seen it. It is a wild ride start to finish, but hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a long time since we've chatted. I went through a little dermatitis outbreak. I tried a product that kind of didn't agree with my skin, and so that's kind of why I took a few days off between filming. So I was really excited to try this palette out. It is brand new in the beauty space. It is another clean beauty item, and it's more of a high-end beauty brand. So I feel like their price point and their aesthetic is very comparable to, I'd say, a Dior or a Charlotte Tilbury palette as well. They have some gorgeous shades, and they're pretty known for their texture. So the founder, Tiffany Scott, is an LA-based makeup artist, and her whole goal was to create a palette with 4 shades that you could use interchangeably, seamlessly. They'd be very easy for someone who wasn't a makeup expert, and they could be applied with the fingers. So that's what she's done here, and that's kind of why I wanted to pick this palette up. The shades look absolutely gorgeous. The packaging is also 100% recyclable, which I really appreciate. And this palette is, you guessed it, cruelty-free, vegan, and gluten-free, which we love. So without further ado, let's crack open this palette and really take a close-up look at these shades. All right, so this is the Roen palette in all its glory. And it comes in a really beautiful velvet case. Packaging is really sturdy. The palette comes with 4 different shades. This is the shade Hashtag, which is kind of like a pressed, gritty glitter. Has a really beautiful metallic reflective look, kind of a rose gold vibe. Next we have the shade Situation, which is like a taupey gray satin shade. Dipping into the shade Rosy, this has like a red but cool undertone at the same time. Then Chow, which is more of a rust orange color. As you can see, all the shades work really beautifully together, and they all have this wet sheen about them. All right, now let's get into the demo. I can't wait to throw these on my eyelids and see how this palette performs. Hello, we meet again. We are all zoomed into the face, so I wanted to test out whether or not one side would perform better if I used a primer and I also baked the lid. Because as you know, I have oily eyelids, and although the website said that you do not need to use a primer with this product, I still want to see if they can put their money where their mouth is. So without further ado, I'm going to go in on this eyelid and I'm going to prep it. All right, so I'm going to take a small pea-sized amount, actually less than that, a very small dot, and I'm going to just press it onto the lid, and I'm just going to prime the lid. I like this primer a lot because it also acts as a great base. As you can see, my eyelids are slightly discolored, so they have a little bit of a darkness to them, and this primer completely evens that out, which I love. Now I'm gonna take my beauty blender, my wet beauty blender, and I'm going to dip it into this Huda powder. What is this called? It's in the shade Poundcake, and it's her Easy Bake powder. So this is a very strong powder, which is perfect for baking. And I'm just gonna dip it in to the little netting here, press that into the lid, and then bake, kind of half bake. I'm not gonna fully bake my eyelid. I'm just gonna pack on as much powder as I can in a fine layer. Now that that has been prepped, I'm gonna go in with the rest of the shades and create an eye look for you today. So I was really intrigued by these shades. So as you can see, these 3 shades right here, these ones right here, they seem to be kind of like a satiny texture. And then this texture here of the shade Hashtag seems to be like kind of a flaky, what is it, like yeah, like a flaky, foiled shade with a grittier texture, almost like a pressed glitter. So I thought that I would start by going in with the shade Rosy, and I'm just going to dip my finger in and swirl it in the pan and then pop that all over the lid. And I'm just gonna kind of bring it above my crease. All right, that's created a really, really beautiful color. It's actually very, very pigmented, more pigmented than I anticipated. So now I'm gonna go in with the other eye. Okay, I can tell you right off the bat that the feeling of this shade is kind of sticky. It almost feels like it's adhering to the eye like a cream would, even though it's not really a cream. It almost feels like those ColourPop hybrid cream to powder highlights that they have. That's what it feels like, but it feels creamier and stickier on the unprimed lid, funnily enough. So we're going to have to see if that does anything to how it actually ends up wearing. I do feel like I can move it a lot easier on this lid, which is kind of a bummer because I would like the option of priming my lid if necessary. Right now, they're looking completely similar, very even. You wouldn't really know that I was wearing a primer on one side. So yeah, so far we're looking good. Next, I'm gonna go in with the shade Chow right here, and I'm just gonna pop that in the inner corner with my pinky. Just kind of pressing that in. Again, it has that sticky texture, which I'm kind of liking. Yeah, I like it so far. And I love the fact that you can take one color and it gives this kind of multi-dimensional effect where you have, it almost looks like you've done more work than you have. And I love that. If you know anything about me, you guys, you know that I love doing the least work for the biggest result. And I think that this palette would be great for people who are in that mindset. You want to just grab one shade, you know, swipe it on the eye, and it looks like you've maybe put more than one shade. As you can see here, it's deep into my crease, but I've only applied one shade across the lid, and then I have a little shade here in the inner corner. But that's a really, really easy eye look to achieve. And I think that the texture and the shimmer in these shades really gives it that multi-dimensional effect, which we're loving. So that's great. Next, I'm going to take the shade Situation, which is this taupey shade right here, and I'm gonna pop that in the outer corner just to create some depth. I want to see how easy it would be to kind of create a little bit of a smoky look. I love a good taupey shade. Another thing I want to mention to you is that online, these look like they're going to be really warm shades, like warm toned shades, but I'm getting more cool toned vibes from this palette, even though it does have an orange in it. I feel like it's more on the cool side, so just wanted to mention that to you. Okay, yeah, I feel like that was so easy to blend out. And it's just given me a little bit of va-va-voom depth, which I'm really liking. Wow, I look very vampy. All right, to blend it out further, I'm going to take this blending brush. This is clean, just stained. And I'm going to just swipe it in the crease. And I'm just going to blend out the shades a little bit more, keeping the concentration in the crease and just using windshield wiping motions to create a little bit more seamlessness throughout the eye look. We're liking it. Oh, God. She's okay, everybody. She's okay. All right. Now that my eyes are looking pretty even, I went out and I blended them a little bit more with this blending brush. I'm going to take the shade Hashtag, which is this gritty shade right here, and I'm going to swirl my finger in and pop it on the center of the lid. All right, this shade in comparison to the first three shades we applied feels very gritty in texture. Flaky! Definitely more of a pressed glitter rather than a foiled eyeshadow. So it's super duper metallic, as you can see. And I'm just going to very delicately pop it in the center of the lid. Oh wow, can you see that? It's quite intense. I'm pleasantly surprised that there has not been fallout throughout this entire process. That to me is very impressive. It's also indicative of how, sorry, I had an eyelash there. It's also indicative of how the eyeshadows are in texture in general. They are this sticky cream to powder formula, it seems, and so that would make a lot of sense. So now I'm just gonna finish off the eye look by adding a little bit of mascara, and then I'm gonna show you how I clean up the edges with concealer to create a super sharp look. All right, lastly, I'm going to take my Kaja Don't Settle Concealer, and I'm going to show you how you can easily shape the outline of your smoky eye just to sharpen it a little bit if things get a little messy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the concealer and I'm just going to drag it along the lower part of my eye, almost continuing it upwards, right below where I place winged eyeliner. I like to do my concealer step after an eyeshadow look like this, just so I can clean anything up that I might need to. I just find it really, really useful. And I'm also going to take it right under the brow where any glitter may have kind of transferred over to, so that I can clean everything up that way. And then I'm going to very carefully take my wet beauty blender and just start very carefully blending everything out. As you can see, that's created a really, really sharp edge. Being very, very careful with this outer edge. And then I literally just press where I placed the concealer. I'm not swiping or doing anything that could disturb the placement of that concealer. And when you're doing something like this, it's really important to choose a concealer that doesn't set too quickly, because you want time to be very careful with it. But as you can see, that's created a really, really sharp line. And now we have this super polished evening editorial look. So without further ado, I'm going to zoom you in so that you can see what the eyes look like. So as you can see, this is what the eyeshadow looks like up close. The primed side looking really good. And then the other side that's not primed, a little less pigmented and a touch of creasing. So in conclusion, let me break down this palette a little bit for you and tell you who it's for and who it's not for. Now, this palette does come at a higher price point, so I would say that the clientele would be somebody who's used to purchasing more expensive quads if you're looking for something a little bit special. This is not your average eyeshadow palette. It's going to be kind of different to other products that you may already have in your collection. This eyeshadow palette definitely gives you a wet look, a gloss to your eyes, a shimmer, a sparkle, a sheen. It's not chunky glitter by any means, it's more refined, but it's definitely very glittery and very sheeny. So if you like more of a matte look, this product is probably not for you. Additionally, if you really love and you're a worshiper of your Anastasia Beverly Hills matte shadows and you enjoy the process of dipping in with each brush to create some beautiful artistry or a cut crease on the eye, this is not the palette that would do that for you. This palette is meant to be used with the fingers. You don't really get any payoff with a brush. I tried using a flat synthetic brush, and I also tried using a fluffy brush, and I could not pick up the product to swatch for you. However, you could dip in with a blender brush when you've already applied it to the eyelid just to blend things out, but that's as far as you need. So this is really for someone who likes using their fingers, who doesn't mind, you maybe already have cream shadows, and you like something that's easy. Additionally, this is maybe not for someone who wants a palette that they can wear to go out clubbing or go out for hours at a time, because I do think that based on how my eyes look, you would need to prime with this palette and it probably would fade throughout the night. I don't think this is a shadow that's gonna be like indefeatable as you dance the night away. I think this would show a little bit of wear, even though it would probably leave your lids with a very glossy, pretty sheen. It's something to consider and keep in mind. This would be a lovely look to go out to dinner with, or if you're the kind of person that wants more of an everyday look, you could definitely dip into either of these 3 shades, probably avoiding the hashtag glittery shade unless you're going out to dinner. And you could swipe any of these on the lid, and like I said, because they're such multi-dimensional shades, you could get a look where it looks like you're maybe making more of an effort than you are, and it looks like you have more than one color on the lids. So that's kind of who this palette is for. Additionally, if you have dry eyes, I don't think it would pick up on any of the texture. If you had like dry skin around your eye area or dry eyelids, I don't think it would really add to that. However, if you have oily eyelids like I do, I think again you would have to prep the eye area so that you wouldn't experience creasing. I do like how you don't get any fallout with this, so big points there. So I hope this helped you decide whether or not this would be the palette for you. It is a very specific look. Even though I think it's absolutely beautiful, it's probably not right for everyone, so I hope this helped you break it down whether or not this would be the right fit for your collection. Hello there. If you've made it to this portion of my video, then you have entered Giveaway Wonderland, folks. Yes, that is correct. I am doing my first ever giveaway, and I am partnering with the brand Easehold. So big thank you to Easehold for sponsoring this portion of the video. I'm super duper excited to be giving away one of these Venus Pro makeup mirrors. Yay! I have been playing with this mirror for the last week, and let me tell you, it's really changed the game for me. So right off the bat, this mirror can rotate this way. You can rotate the angle, or you can just flip it completely, which I really like to do when I'm filming or when I'm doing like a complicated makeup situation. And then you can adjust these panels however you want. This panel right here has 2 different sections. This section has double the magnification level, and then this section has 5 times the magnification level, so you can really get into the nooks and crannies of the face. Additionally, you have this little circular mirror back here. It has suction cups on the back. Then you can take it off if you want to travel with it, and it has 10 times magnification power, which is great. And additionally, this is the best part. You have light settings. So I don't know if you've been in a Sephora, but their big thing is they have these mirrors with 3 different light settings, and guess what? You can get it at home now as well. So you have 3 different light settings. You have studio light, you have natural light, and sterile light, and then you can adjust the amount of light that you get just by holding down the power button and just doing whatever you're comfortable with. But it's been really, really a game changer for me because this is not my bedroom. I just film in here because it has good light, but my bedroom has really, really bad light. So what I was doing was I would just come into this room and bring little bits of makeup just so I could do it by the window, and it was really annoying. So I'm very, very glad to have this. It's going to be a huge part of my daily routine. It already has been. I can't imagine going back. So I'm really, really excited to be giving one of these babies away. If you want to enter, all you have to do is check out the rules down below. I hope you will. And if you don't win by the end of the week, you can use my code Sarah20 for $10 off of your purchase. All you have to do is click the link down below. But anyway, I'm just really excited to do my first giveaway on this channel. I've so appreciated every single comment. I have read every single one. The outpouring of support has just been so great, and I'm really proud of the little community that we've created here in such a short time. I will be choosing a winner at the end of this week, so I hope you enter, and I hope you have a really, really good rest of your week, you guys. I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye!